Hello world, George Filip here, and I have a rant to make. It's been on my mind for quite some time, even before I made my first video, but let me give you some context first. Here in Greece, the first time we read about atoms in school is in 5th grade, but that's just a short paragraph in the book. Then in middle school we do it again, going in depth a little more, basically starting from zero. So it's safe to say that the first time it was officially explained what atoms are in more detail than molecules are made of atoms, atoms in turn are made of protons, neutrons and electrons, was a few months ago, on a fine Tuesday morning. The teacher drew a few sketches on the board and explained how almost everything around us is atoms. He explained how the air is actually something, and how our hands, our eyes, our brains, everything is atoms. When he finished, he asked, "Are there any questions?" as teachers often tend to do. One hand was raised, with the intent to ask the following very deep question. Are we having a test on these next week? Let me get this straight. This man has just told you that you and everything you have ever come in contact with are made up of a few very specific tiny particles which can be listed on a single piece of paper and which in turn are made up of even tinier particles, and your mind is not blown not only by the very existence of these particles but also by the fact that we humans have been able to discover them. Don't you need a few minutes to process this information in your head? How can you be so short-minded and only be interested in whether or not you have to answer some questions on a piece of paper and can't see how amazing what you have just been told is? Don't you at least have the decency to keep this question to yourself, or at least wait until the people around you have finished being amazed? I just need to get that out of my chest. Of course, I do realize that my anger about this should not be directly to the particular person who asked the question, or at least not only to that person, because it's just another effect of the way schools work and of the way they evaluate students. Grades are most of the time based on scores obtained on tests. How much they count varies from teacher to teacher, but it is always a lot and perhaps more than what it should be. Society places too much value on a piece of paper proving you have gone through 12 years of school and on a few other numbers on which those 12 years are reflected. The best way to get good grades is to get good scores on tests, and the best way to do that is to be prepared for them. So, dear person who asked that question that Tuesday, I understand that you had good reason to do so. I just hope that next time you ask the teacher in private, or at least wait a little before asking. I hope that you enjoyed my rant video. As is always the case with this kind of videos, you either could relate to what I said, or you just watched laughing at a person shouting about an issue you have no opinion on. Either way, thanks for watching and I'll see you next week. This is George Filip, signing off.